What is serverless computing? As technology advances, so does the need for new and innovative ways to deliver software applications. One such innovation is serverless computing. This relatively new concept is gaining in popularity as more and more businesses move towards cloud computing. In this video, we will explore what serverless computing is, how it works, its benefits, and its drawbacks. What is serverless computing? Serverless computing is a cloud computing model where the cloud provider manages and runs the infrastructure required to run an application. In a traditional computing model, the developer has to worry about the infrastructure required to run the application. This includes the server, the operating system, the middleware, and other dependencies. In serverless computing, the developer only has to worry about writing the application code. How does serverless computing work? In serverless computing, the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure required to run the application. The cloud provider only charges the developer for the actual usage of the application. This means that the developer does not have to pay for any idle resources. The benefits of serverless computing. Reduced costs. Serverless computing can reduce costs because the developer only pays for the actual usage of the application. This means that the developer does not have to pay for any idle resources. Increased scalability. Serverless computing is highly scalable because the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure. This means that the application can automatically scale up or down based on demand. Reduced maintenance. Serverless computing can reduce maintenance because the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure. This means that the developer does not have to worry about patching the operating system or upgrading the middleware. Reduced time to market. Serverless computing can reduce the time to market because the developer only has to worry about writing the application code. This means that the developer can focus on delivering new features and functionality. Better resource utilization. Serverless computing can improve resource utilization because the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure. This means that the application can automatically scale up or down based on demand. The drawbacks of serverless computing. Cold start problem. One of the drawbacks of serverless computing is the cold start problem. This occurs when the cloud provider needs to start a new instance of the application. This can cause a delay in the response time of the application. Vendor lock-in. Another drawback of serverless computing is vendor lock-in. Because the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure, it can be difficult to switch providers if needed. Limited control and flexibility. Serverless computing can also have limited control and flexibility. Because the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure, the developer has limited control over the configuration of the infrastructure. Use cases for serverless computing. Web applications. Serverless computing is ideal for web applications because of its scalability and reduced maintenance. Mobile applications. Serverless computing is also ideal for mobile applications because of its scalability and reduced costs. Internet of Things, IoT, applications. Serverless computing is also ideal for Internet of Things, IoT, applications because of its scalability and reduced costs. Conclusion. In conclusion, serverless computing is a cloud computing model that is gaining popularity due to its benefits of reduced costs, increased scalability, reduced maintenance, reduced time to market, and improved resource utilization. However, it also has drawbacks such as the cold start problem, vendor lock-in, and limited control and flexibility. It is ideal for web applications, mobile applications, and Internet of Things (IoT) applications. As technology continues to evolve, it is important to stay up to date with the latest innovations such as serverless computing to remain competitive in the market. With its benefits and drawbacks, serverless computing is definitely a model worth considering for businesses that want to focus on delivering high-quality applications while reducing costs and improving efficiency.